What was your favorite story growing up?
I think it would have to be The Lion King.
Give me the 15-second version. Go!
Today on Just Off Broadway, we have a very special guest. You might know him as Matthew, or Matt, or Maddie, but what you definitely know him from is Broadway's Finding Neverland.
Yay! I'm so excited Matthew Tiberi is here. He is so wonderful and I'm so excited for you to meet him.
Let's go.
Yay! Hi guys, welcome back to season 2 of Just Off Broadway. We're so excited that you're here and we have a really special guest. Matthew Tiberi is here.
Woo!
Yay!
Yeah!
We're so excited. Is it okay if I explain how we met?
Sure.
Okay, so Matt and I met doing extra work a few times, and we bonded because when you do extra work, you're on set for like a gajillion hours, hanging out, usually in like a weird room. Like, you're like, is this safe to be in this room?
The basement of a church.
Yeah.
Usually, somewhere.
But these two have come so far from extra work because you guys might recognize him because he is currently in Broadway's Finding Neverland.
Yeah. That's so cool. I think we've got a bunch of questions we want to ask you today. One question, how did you know that a career in the performing arts was right for you?
I do think it was when I was younger. Growing up, my parents took my brother and I to Broadway shows every year, and my brother and I were very lucky to have that situation. It was probably when I was 13 and I actually was seeing a production of Rent that I was like, this is what I want to do. I want to be able to portray stories and with messages and meaning behind them to audiences. So I think it's something beautiful about coming in to the theater to forget your own problems and stresses, even if it's only for like 2-3 hours. Just kind of separate and like get lost in a completely new world.
I love that.
I do too, and that's funny because I think we all have the Rent
Yes.
situation in common. Everyone saw Rent and was like, I'm a born performer! Need to tell stories! So, you've seen success, and we all know performance is such a difficult career to get into. What keeps you encouraged? Like, what keeps you trying and motivated to keep going after it?
I do enjoy the process of it. I enjoy the auditioning, I enjoy growing in my career, and I love meeting new people. I mean, that's how we met, was through this. It's just fascinating how it all works out.
Of course, we have to get into Finding Neverland.
Yeah.
What has it been like to be a vacation swing, and also what is it like making your Broadway debut?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's so insane. I never thought this was going to happen for me. Well, at least like right now. Of course, I wanted it to happen. Like 2 years ago, I was working 3 jobs, and I was, catering, what every performer does, and bartending, and then I was also flyering out in Times Square for Broadway shows, and I was also vending in the theater, the guy walking around with the candy and wine, and just so that I can like see the shows for free and like be there and be in the scene and like
So
in
smart.
the theaters. But I was so miserable and broke and tired and just working 3 jobs, and then finally like one day I was flying for the Radio City Rockettes in a blizzard down by Macy's, and I went into a Starbucks to like warm up for a second, and I got the call that I booked the national tour of Joseph at the time, and I cried. I was so happy. I was like, finally, like something bigger is coming on. It was my first national tour. It's the only national tour I've ever done. And then tour ended in April, and then end of June, my friend Julius Rubio, who's the dance captain of Finding Neverland, was like, hey, there's an audition coming up for the new Vacation Swing. You should really go into it. So I got an appointment to go in. I ended up making it down to the final 5, and I initially didn't get it.
Really?
Initially, yeah. Another guy got it, and then 2 people at the same time left the show by the time everything was working out. So he ended up bumping up to the permanent swing position, and then I came in as the Vacation Swing.
That's
so cool. That's so cool. And meant to be.
So, I feel so lucky. It's such a great place to be. Everyone is so nice there. It's one like giant family, and everyone was like so welcoming as you come in. It's been really a great experience.
I love that. What was it like first stepping onto the Broadway stage?
Well, the first thing I had to do, I was covering the track for Colin Cunliffe, and he, the first thing he does in the show is he steps out on stage and takes Matthew Morrison's scarf and coat for him, and it's like right downstage in front of the audience, very top of the show, and Matthew's singing. And in my head, I was just like, oh my god, please don't let me mess this up. Like, don't let him get stuck in the jacket. Don't let me choke him with the scarf. Like, please, like, let this go well. But it's great. Like, honestly, the moment I stepped out until like the very end of it, it was such a blur, but it was so surreal and it was amazing. And everyone was great. Everyone like picked up glitter and like threw it at me at when the curtain went down after bows, and like it was really, yeah.
That's so cool.
It's so cool. It was such an amazing experience.
And how many tracks do you have to learn?
I, technically speaking, cover 9 tracks in the show. Everyone except Matthew Morrison and Kelsey Grammer.
I mean, what?
I have to know for the show.
How?
Yeah.
Like, how do you have, like, do you learn them one at a time? Do you, like, learn little bits of each?
Well, I was learning, I started learning Julius's tracks. He's the busiest track in the show. And because from there I could work backwards and it gets easier and easier. You just reverse things, or like, you know, you don't do certain sections, whatever. So I was learning as I was going on for each track. I would learn that track so I could run them and get used to it. However, now, as a vacation swing, you cover for vacations, leave of absence, and medical leave. So the swing tore his meniscus. So now I'm kind of technically the swing at the moment, but I'm like trying to cram every of the remaining tracks in last minute so that like if anything happens, I can be there and go on. So it's kind of, right now, currently, I'm kind of on like a little information overload from the show.
I mean, rightfully so.
I can't imagine.
Done.
But it's like, it's incredible the things that you can do that you don't think you can do.
Yeah.
You know, and you're like, there's no way I'll learn this. And then you're like, well, I did. I figured it out.
Yeah.
You know?
It's like me getting to set every day. I want to talk really quick. So you, obviously, we talked about Matthew Morrison, but you are in a show with Kelsey Grammer. You got to work with him.
Kelsey is currently not in the show at the moment. He left right before I came in. I did get to meet him.
Okay.
I still did get to meet him because the cast is amazing and they always see each other and hang out. So I was like invited to go out and see Kelsey.
So cool.
Totally like the sweetest guy.
Kelsey.
He's so nice. So incredibly nice. Like completely walked up to me, shook my hand, was like, nice to meet you. Like, great guy. And now it's Terrence Mann, who is the original Beast and Javert and all that jazz.
And he was in Pippin.
Yes. Yeah, so he's in the show now, and he's incredible and great and hysterical, and I got to work with him a lot when I was actually on as Chris Vaughn's track as Elliot in the show, and he's great. Everyone's just great in that show and so talented.
I wanted to know, what is the funniest moment that you've had on stage as a performer?
Neverland has been kind of like, there's been some moments for me already so far. So as I was saying, I went on as Elliot, and part of Elliot's track is there's a number called Believe in the show. At the very top of it, he rides a penny farthing across the stage, which is those old bikes with the giant front wheel and the little back one, and they're huge. So you need like a step stool to like, or use the chair to like actually step on there, and stagehands have to hold the bikes. There's no brakes or anything on it, and like it's all kind of attached weird. And they basically just push you out and you just go and like go into the wing, and the other stagehands catch you.
What?
So there was one day, I'm like standing up and I have one foot on the chair and I'm sitting on the bike, which like, you know, the seat's like this big, so you're like trying to get comfortable up there. And I feel like I could feel in my center that I was like, I'm not like on my center right now, like this feels so weird. And they pull back the curtain and they go to push me out, and I don't even go out on the stage. I just teetered over and fell into, like, thankfully I was not on stage, but I fell into like the wall that I just completely like fell over, and they had to like help me climb down off of it, and I was just like, nope, I'm just gonna walk around to my next part. I'm not gonna make this. Like, didn't even straight up like pull the curtain back, just tipsy down.
You committed to your choice.
I did.
And as performers, that's what we should always be doing, committing.
Yes. So it's yes
into
and.
the moment.
Yes and.
Yes and.
Yes. So if people want to follow you on social media, where should they look for you?
My Instagram and my Twitter are the same handle. It's Matthew_Tiberi. And you can find me there.
And if you follow Matthew on Twitter or on Instagram, you know that he has some secret talents and that he's ambidextrous.
I am. Right with my left hand.
Let's do a left-hand high five.
Yes.
Cause me too.
Right with my left hand, I do it most like scissors and throwing a baseball with my right hand, stuff like that. But like I can play pool with both ways. I throw darts with both hands, like
So
stuff
cool.
like that. It works for me for partnering and
Yeah.
for dancing stuff. I could like, it's easier to like reverse things around that way.
What advice would you have to young aspiring performers?
It's hard. It's a tough business. You cannot give up. You cannot give up. Constantly go to auditions, show face, be there. Don't settle and get content and stuck in a job that you're not happy with. It's so easy to just get stuck into a comfortable serving position at like a nice restaurant because you're making your rent, you're getting your bills paid and everything like that. I know it's hard. There's been times that I've had like $20 to my name and that was it. Like, but it's worth it. The stress is worth it. So
You heard it
don't
here.
give up.
Yeah.
Keep pushing for it. It'll happen eventually.
Careful. She's
I might
brought
cry.
the tears.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today. You're so wonderful. We're so
Thank you
excited
for having me.
Yes. I just
You're just
feel
the
like
best.
you're like only going up from here, and it's already up. I'm proud to know you.
Oh,
We're
what?
I'm proud to
excited.
know you.
Oh, you're
Back in
wonderful.
the holding room days to now.
To the stages of Broadway.
It's like, what is life?
It's crazy.
I just think those moments are so cool.
Yeah.
So. it's very
True
exciting.
success story, right here.
Yes.
You guys seen it, you can do it. And thank you guys for another Monday with us here on
Just Off Broadway.
You're filming right now.
Sorry, there's like a huge thing reminding to laugh.
Let's say hi.
No.
Yay!
Hashtag professional.
Hashtag for real. We're opposite. We all kind of match.
Wow.
Whoa.
Whoa!
Just Off Broadway.